Nancy Drew Files 18 was originally titled Triangle of Malice. Then they tried out Square of Meanness and Dodecahedron of Ill Intent. Eventually, they settled on Circle of Evil.
Argo Funk Book Review. Argo Funk Book Review.
The book begins with Nancy attending a party at Joanna Tate's house. Joanna's a rich girl, and the only thing bigger than her wallet is her mouth. She blabs to everyone about her expensive new necklace, which is one of a kind. It's hidden in the safe right over there where anyone could reach it. And sure enough, the necklace is soon stolen. Detective Ryan is assigned to find a thief. He's a grumpy fellow, and he orders Nancy off the case. Yeah, that's not gonna work, Detective. Nancy never stops investigating a case, not even when she's arrested for being on a case. Nancy shadows Joanna at the country club for a while. Turns out that Joanna isn't the only big mouth here. Everyone at the country club just brags about their priceless possessions. For example, it takes less than 5 minutes for Nancy to learn that this one guy has a rare book on the shelf in his library. He's leaving it completely unguarded while he goes on a business trip tomorrow. And he's saying this in a public space where anyone can hear him. Like another reviewer said, this book should be called Stupid Rich People Deserve to Be Robbed. The suspects at the country club are a lifeguard, a businessman, and a bartender. Nancy and her friends split up, so each girl investigates one man. Of course, Nancy gives herself the job of investigating the hot guy in the swimsuit. The investigation doesn't go anywhere, but it's still time well spent, because it's an excuse to put a hot guy on the cover of this book. In the woman's locker room, Nancy takes off all of her clothes. And I'm sorry to say it, but this is another extended nude scene. It's actually a naked Nancy murder attempt, like the one in Book 9. The culprit locks Nancy inside a shower stall and turns up the temperature to maximum. Oh no! Her skin is going to scald! Nancy screams for help, she bangs on the door, and she is rescued by a very confused woman. Bess and George report in. Like Nancy, they spent most of their time looking at hot guys. George has a date with a tennis hunk, and now I'm sad, because I'm 90% sure George's boyfriend has been written out of the series. Sorry, John, you deserve better than disappearing without any explanation. But hey, take pride in the fact that you were mentioned as George's boyfriend in 4 different books. That is way longer than any of Bess's relationships. Nancy and her friends hold a stakeout at a nearby mansion. She sees the culprit arrive, and there's a long chase sequence. She chases the culprit over a wall and through the woods to grandmother's house. To the country club. Chases the culprit to the country club. The culprit's footprints lead directly to the pool, but it's a trap. The culprit grabs her from behind and jumps into the pool. He's trying to drown her. May I just say the cover art got this scene completely wrong, because it's totally wrong. So the culprit's trying to drown Nancy, but she escapes by swimming downward. The culprit is many things, but they're not willing to hold on to Nancy if it means getting their hair wet. So the culprit escapes, and Nancy walks back to the stakeout where Ned is being arrested by Detective Ryan. I was a little bit distracted at this point because Nancy was talking about cheeseburgers. I'm like, man, I could really go for a cheeseburger right now. And fries, lots of fries. The culprit goes after Nancy's father next by breaking into the house and leaving a noose in Mr. Drew's room. This ends up being the clue that cracks the case. The culprit didn't force the door open, so they must have had a key. The only time Nancy left her house key unattended? During the naked murder attempt. Clever culprit, hiding clues in the one scene that readers want to forget the most. So Nancy goes to the country club late at night, and she spends most of the time whining about how it's hard to see things when it's dark. Nancy, bring a flashlight next time. Jeez. The culprit tries pushing a large weight machine towards Nancy, and that draws her attention to a nearby door. The door is a fake supply closet, which is really a hidden passageway that leads to the back side of the lockers. So from here, the culprit can open up any of the women's lockers and make duplicates of their keys. Now I'll never trust public lockers ever again. Thanks, book. Nancy has basically solved the mystery at this point, but she decides she can't go to the police without hard evidence. because the culprit's secret lair and key duplicating machine apparently don't count as hard evidence. So she sets a trap. Bess poses as a rich girl with easy-to-rob jewelry. Nancy stands guard at the door to see who will enter the culprit's hideout. As it turns out, this is a book where everyone's the culprit. The bartender, the businessman, the masseuse I didn't mention earlier, but not the lifeguard. He is too hot to be evil. The culprits explain the details of their crimes, and they lead Nancy to a secluded room in order to kill her. Only they don't kill her because that would end the series. So what they do is knock her out and take her to the hidden passageway. Not sure how they got her there, though. You think somebody would notice people dragging an unconscious teenager through a crowded weight room and into a fake supply closet? But no, they just take her there. Nobody really notices. Nancy is tied up, but she manages to cut the ropes, she escapes, and she meets with Detective Ryan, who finally agrees to help her solve the mystery. This is another point where Nancy should leave the case to the police and go home, but no, she decides she's going to catch the culprits herself. She searches the country club and she finds them on the side of a hill. They quickly recapture her and march her to the exit, and here we have a bad continuity error. As I said, all the culprits were at the hill, but now one of them isn't there. The masseuse has magically transported to the pool area where she's arrested by Detective Ryan. And that gives Nancy an idea. She walks alongside the pool. Then she turns around and pushes the culprits. They both fall sideways into the pool, even though Nancy didn't push them from that direction. As we saw earlier, the culprits can't handle getting their hair wet, so they immediately surrender to the police. The book ends with Joanna happily telling everybody about her other secret safe, because she has learned nothing from being robbed. Oh, Joanna. Detective Ryan agrees to become friends with Nancy in exchange for being mentioned in Nancy Drew, Alibi in Ashes. The end. Post-book follow-up. The back of the book promises some devilishly original murder attempts. What were the murder attempts? There was attempted drowning, pushing something heavy on top of her, and the naked shower scene. I wouldn't call those devilishly original, but I appreciate the attempt to do something different. Sending Nancy a threatening message, though, not original, happens in every book. No, the thing that I thought was original, when the masseuse threatens Nancy on the telephone, Nancy recognizes her voice. That was a first for her. Nancy never recognizes the culprit's voice. Besides for the lifeguard, the fake-out suspect in this book is a redhead named Cindy. She appears 3 times. First she robs someone, then she runs away from Nancy, then she walks up to Nancy and confesses she's a kleptomaniac. I didn't think she was an interesting suspect because the only time Nancy talks to her is when she's exonerated. Overall, this is a good book and I enjoyed it. There are problems with the ending, like the culprits not killing Nancy when they should have, and Nancy not letting the police arrest the culprits like she should have. So both she and the culprits made boneheaded mistakes and they canceled each other out. I kinda trashed those moments in my review, but the truth is, they didn't at all detract from my enjoyment of the story. So I give Nancy Drew Files number 18, Circle of Evil, a 9 out of 10.